Like,
Yeah.
I was stealing my dad's credit card, going to Applebee's with her. Who would have thought 20-something years later, we're literally on the menu?
We've known our next guest for quite some time. I can remember when he was writing in a garden shed behind a place on Music Row, behind a publishing company. Now, after releasing 2 EPs and an album, his 2021 viral hit, Fancy Like, changed everything, literally. And I mean, it has been certified platinum. It's now been nominated for a Grammy Award, but most importantly, it has its own TikTok dance. And the new album, Country Stuff, the album is out now. Please welcome Walker Hayes.
What up, y'all?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's always fun to look at all this stuff and go, yeah, you did all that.
Not just me, you know that. But yeah, my resume, it just got awesome this year, Grammy nominated. That's insane. And it's crazy. It's just been a crazy year. I don't even know how to describe what's happened to my music career this year.
I want to get into the nitty gritty. First things
Let's
first.
go.
Hard-hitting journalism. Do you get to eat at Applebee's for free for the rest of your life?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I'll put it this way. You'll probably be getting a gift card every Christmas from now to the end of our life. There's a specific drawer in our kitchen, very humble kitchen, just normal house, y'all. But there's a special drawer that is designated just for Applebee's gift cards. So I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of that.
There's a rumor that we know is not true, but I want you to tell people.
Put it to bed.
People think that this song was like guerrilla marketing for Applebee's.
Yeah.
That like Applebee's paid you to write this song for them. That's not the truth.
That would have been genius. I mean, that would have been a great idea. And, I just want everybody to know, too, companies like Applebee's have brilliant marketing people. And it's really hard to get those people to pay attention because they're so talented in their own right. They're like, look, we got it. And so when we wrote this song, I had no idea. I was like, no way Applebee's is going to call somebody for a country song. That just doesn't happen. And sure enough, the world was rooting for it, and they did. And not only did they call us, but praise the Lord, y'all, the song really was just driving. It would have been a great guerrilla market. Like, people were going to order a shake that didn't even exist on the menu. Yeah.
They brought it back.
So they called us and were like, we're tired of getting asked to make the shake that's not here. And then they brought it back. They put me and Laney on those laminated menu. That's a huge moment in a dude's life. Like, Laney and I are sitting there in Applebee's going, we ate here when we were 16, on dates. Like, I was stealing my dad's credit card, going to Applebee's with her. Who would have thought 20-something years later, we're literally on the menu, our faces. And so it was not intended, but it made sense. I felt like the world cheered, but I understand anybody being like, that was contrived, because it would have been genius.
Well, and I think that's part of the brilliance of it. People knew it was, most people knew that it was authentic and that this is where you guys had real date nights. And so when you were, talking about this is true to your story. And that's why people resonated with it.
It was. It's the truth. Because, as a songwriter, I'm always like, let's preach about the power of a song. But I got to admit, I'm not sure I knew the power of music until this, and I'm just blown away. I mean, it's amazing.
You got to perform at the Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
And was this the first time that you got to do Fancy Like live in front of...
For like a TV thing?
Right. It was TV. It was a room full of everybody who's who of country music.
Yeah.
Randy Travis is sitting there getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. And you got to close out the show.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere where you said you were thinking to yourself, I'm super nervous because there are people like Randy Travis looking at me. And then you locked eyes with Kane Brown.
Yeah.
Tell me about that moment.
It was so special. It was funny. I stood behind 2 giant doors, that opened when they were like, and Walker, hey, And the first person I see, is Chris Stapleton. And I'm like, traditional of all traditionals. And here I am like, yeah, we fancy like, and I'm like, he probably doesn't do these dances, and in my head, I'm just like, oh my goodness. And I kid you not, I just felt fear that I hadn't felt in a while, and I was fighting it. I was like, why are you so scared? Like, everybody loves this song. And I looked over, and the first person, I literally think Kane Brown stood up before my wife did. And I got onto her later. I was like, what's the deal? You let Kane beat you? You're supposed to support me, And I was so grateful that he shot up and just started enjoying the song. And then I was like, I'm not alone. Like this, it's okay that this is what I do. This is what I love. This is me. I'm proud of that. This town, it is a lot of adversity, a lot of competition, but a lot of support from my peers this year.
Right. That is so great. Okay, so the Country Heat playlist kicks off with your song, AA.
It's crazy.
Right?
Come on.
So, which by the title could be a heavy song.
Alphabetically, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's also my initials, by the way. I like it.
I love it.
But in typical Walker fashion, it's a bop. You made it fun.
Yeah.
Tell us the story behind that song. You wrote it with Shane.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to us about AA. And I know it's a favorite of many people.
Okay. Well, and please shut me up if I just keep talking too much. But AA is just a true story. Walked in to write with Luke Laird and Shane. It was just me and Luke for a second. It was Wild Fancy Like was just insanity. And Luke truly asked me, and not in a passing way, he was like, man, how you doing with all this? And he's a recovering alcoholic. He knows I am. And Shane is too. Shane wasn't there yet. And he said, how you doing with all this? And I said, man, I'm just trying to stay out of AA because it is such a huge adjustment, not to get too like philosophical or whatever, but to me, immediate success or really success at all, it kind of feels like loss or tragedy. Like it just impacts you. And there's a lot of adjustments and it makes ripples, and it affects everybody around you, especially those closest to you. So Lainey and I were in the thick of navigating, being recognized, being just uber busy, trying to be a dad, trying to be married, all that stuff. And so I was like, I'm just trying not to fall off the wagon, because success can send you that way, and I was experiencing that. And honestly, the song to me is a list of reasons why I need the Lord, is because I can't do any of those things that I listed. So I need a Savior from myself, from my self-destructive nature. If it was all up to me, I would just self-destruct. To me, the song sounds fun, but if you really dissect it, there's some truth in there. And I think it's nice. Like, I don't know about y'all, but it's comforting sometimes to address the serious things in life and just kind of laugh about them and be like, hey, that's just how it is, and that, to me, that's what that song does. There's definitely a lot of elephants in the room in that song, where if you sang it to the right family or the right crowd of people, they may look at each other like, hey, that's kind of me, and did he just say that, and I love that. That is me, and I've said this about AA before. If somebody was like, hey, who are you? What are you all about? Who are you? I would just hand them that. I would just be like, man, this is it.
This town is all about timing. We've heard it's a 7-year town. It's a 10-year town. It's a 17-year town.
Yeah.
I mean, you have waited for so long, but I have to ask, having success now, is it sweeter than it would have been if you had it earlier in your career?
Yeah, and I guess by sweeter, I just have a more. I think the Lord has offered me the opportunity to have just a more realistic appreciation for what success really is. I'm no different. And it's not going to answer anything. Like, it's not the cure to me, And I think I thought it was, in my 20s and 30s. I think I was like, if I could just get here, I'll be okay. And I met the one who made me okay. And so the success comes along, And I appreciate, I truly, this sounds just like, I feel like I sound like a politician when I'm saying this, because it's awesome. And I'm excited to be able to say this. But it's the most meaningful thing right now is watching the people who love me the most and are near me enjoy this. I mean, I haven't even mentioned my kids. I mean, they're the proudest of all. You know, just think about my daughter. Like, she's 15. She's hanging out with Dad on a Sunday, and we just do a stupid dance. And that was the best part, just that day. Just like 30 minutes. Hanging out, neither of us thinking about anything but these stupid dance moves and this fun song. And then she just watched that blossom.
Man, the magic's going to continue. 2022. Yeah. Country Stuff, the album is out.
Is out.
It's out.
It's out, and it's so good.
So good.
Top to bottom.
Walker Hayes, we love you.
Thank you all.
Love you, man.
For having
Thanks
me.
for being here.